So, today we finna watch Dio versus Alucard Death Battle. Now, a lot of y'all been wanting me to watch this video, bruh. A lot of y'all been commenting on my videos, yo, Drezu, watch Dio versus Alucard. It's lit, it's crazy, this and that and the third. So I'm here. I'm here. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna pretend like this battle don't interest me crazy, bro, because it's a battle of the vampires. It's a battle of the vampires, bro. This is a cool ass concept battle. And when I thought about it at first, thinking about this battle, I was like, yo, Dio's gonna win, bro. He can stop time. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking at first. Like, yo, this is gonna be an easy sweep for Dio, right? But then I really started thinking about Alucard's powers, bro. Like this shit had me unlocking memories that I done long lost. Bro, by the end of Hellsing, right? Spoiler warning. Like, spoiler warning. You know what I mean? Like, skip a little bit if you don't want to get spoiled. But by the end of Hellsing, bro, Alucard was like truly immortal. Like, he's already immortal, you know, being a vampire and all, right? But I think he absorbed, like, it was like a kid. And that kid is like, he exists and he don't exist at the same time. So I think Alucard is like truly immortal. Like, he can't be killed, right? Plus he has holy weapons. He got the guns with the holy bullets. That's obviously gonna do something to Dio, unholy hater. You get what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna lie. Before we get this started, I got Alucard. I got Alucard winning this, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I got Alucard winning. But we gonna see, bro, because I don't know what version of Dio they gonna use. They might pull out the world over heaven, then. So I don't know then, bro. Anyway, before we get into it, you already know I want to ask y'all to hit the like button, subscribe, join the empire. Helps me out, helps the channel out, helps the channel grow. I appreciate the support. And without further ado, let's get into this video, bro. Let's see what it's talking about. Let's see. Death battle. Talk to me.
Dio Brando, everlasting adversary of the Joestar bloodline.
Yeah.
Alucard, undying enforcer of the Hellsing organization.
Yeah.
Vampires, the spawn of nightmares formed from the blackest pits of man's demented imagination.
Anime, basically the same thing. What do you get when you combine them? Two of the meanest monsters out there. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah, I got Alucard, bro.
Imagine, if you can, someone so wicked that the sheer magnitude of their unholy dickishness literally destroyed the universe.
Dickishness.
You might think they'd have to be no less than the devil himself, but it was him, Dio.
Born a penniless street.
I mean, if you call Dio the devil, like, I wouldn't say you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, hating on that level, like, I don't even think the devil hate God on the level that Dio hate the Joestars, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Rat with a cunning mind in the slums of Victorian London, Dio was humiliated by his poverty and abused by his alcoholic father.
His bitter resentment and small dick energy would lead to a lifelong desire for ultimate power and immortality.
I ain't gonna lie, Dio was getting bitches, bro.
Heaven.
And he'd get his chance to act when he was adopted into the wealthy Joestar family. Dio planned to kill his new father, George Joestar, and take his fortune for himself. Only one thing stood in his way: his new brother, John.
Why would he, like, bro, they took you out the slums. Why would you try to poison? This is why I can't stand Dio, bro. Every time this gets explained, I'm just like, yo, Dio, why? You was living the good life, the sweet life of Zack and Cody.
Jonathan Joestar, aka JoJo.
Dio tried to go all alpha wolf on JoJo by engaging in such classic sibling pranks as beating him up, molesting his girlfriend, and setting his dog on fire. Jesus! You give that creepy dog murderer what for, JoJo?
But after years of emotional manipulation, Dio's twisted assassination plot was foiled by his righteous stepbrother.
With help from the interfering Speedwagon. All seemed lost until Dio pulled out his Plan B, an ancient stone mask that turned him into a vampire. That's just bizarre.
Okay, so he's not technically a vampire like, say, Dracula. Instead of turning you into an unholy demon, the stone mask eliminates your body's natural limitations,
making him way stronger, faster, and tougher than any human. He can hear a heartbeat through the ground, fly through the air, and hypnotize you with just a glance.
It gets weirder. Dio can create mind-controlling flesh buds from his hair follicles, vaporize the moisture in his body to freeze anything he touches, and fire beams of pressurized fluids that can split the sky.
Pressurized fluids?
I wonder why. Did we see Dio use his laser beams in the third part? I don't think so. I wonder why he didn't do, like, even though he gained a stand, it's like still laser beams, you know what I'm
saying? Oh, sometimes it's too easy, Wiz. Even more insane is Dio's healing factor. He's been burnt alive, impaled through the head, bisected, decapitated, lost limbs, filled with bullets, and had a huge hole. I still don't think his heal factor as crazy as Alucard's. Not twice, but 3 times.
Another similar vampire, Straight, survived being blown to pieces and just pulled himself back together.
All Dio needs is some blood to speed up the process, so he is basically a vampire. Though I guess the fangs are just for decoration because he sucks blood through his fingers. Ugh.
Dio used his powers to raise a zombie army to conquer the world and feed a baby to its own mother. Just for kicks.
We've had a lot of real piece of shit on this show, Wiz, but I'm starting to think Dio takes the cake. Luckily, his plans were foiled again by his old frenemy JoJo, who beat Dio's ass with a martial art that uses the power of the sun. Hamon.
Because, should Dio's vampire body be subjected to sunlight, he will instantly disintegrate.
So, what did Dio do? Well, he cut off his own head, killed Jonathan on his wedding night, and attached his head to JoJo's body.
Bro, can you believe this shit?
Taken, for sure.
After a brief century in a coffin at the bottom of the ocean, Dio resurfaced in Egypt and tried once again to take over the world. His ultimate goal was to create a world where everyone knew their own fate and could make peace with the inevitable tragedies life had in store. In Dio's mind, heaven.
And he'd make it happen no matter how many breads he'd have to eat.
Hold on, they saying heaven. Are they actually gonna give Dio over heaven, bro? Like, like, come on, bro. Like, chill out.
After being struck by a mystical arrow, sure, why not? Dio gained a stand, the embodiment of a user's life force. Since they're made of psychic energy, stands can only be seen by stand users and can only be hurt by other stands. Quite the obstacle for any opponent lacking similar abilities.
Ow! Hey, look, Wiz, I got a stand! I call it 99 bottles! Oh, shit! Don't worry, Wiz, I'll change you back with your D-Transmode...
6 out of 10 name.
Ooh, look, a giant beer!
Oh, that's a little bit OP. Just one touch, he could turn people to beer. That's an OP. That's an OP stand.
Among men, Dio received one of the most powerful stands in history. The
World,
with its ability to stop time.
Time, huh? Thanks for the... Ow! Well, not only does his time stop get longer with each use, he can spam it as much as he likes. He's a massive troll.
The World is absurdly strong and fast, able to match...
Like, I know he can keep using it, but I think there's a cooldown. Did Dio not have a cooldown? I could have sworn he did. Time stop lasts 11 seconds. Increases.
The stand Star Platinum, which belongs to Jonathan's great-great-grandson, Jotaro Kujo. He technically inherited it from Dio through Jonathan's body and bloodline, making Star Platinum and the World the same stand.
I still don't get it completely,
both are two of the strongest stands out there, just as strong as Stone Free, which can punch meteors that were pulled to Earth in seconds.
By measuring the distance the meteors are from Earth, we can estimate they were moving at over 11 million meters per second. Factoring in their mass, they'd each have a kinetic energy of 441 kilotons of TNT.
Not that crazy when you can throw punches that are faster than light. No, really, Star Platinum kept up with this stand, Silver Chariot, which could cut a beam of light.
Looking at the interval Silver Chariot's sword swung relative to the light beam, it must have moved over 1,500 times the speed of light. And Dio himself has matched Star Platinum on his own, and taken its punches head on.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to Dio's secret weapon, the greatest weapon in anime history! The Steamroller! Turns out Dio's a hell of a chef. He can make pancakes and donuts.
Even so, despite having a massive god complex...
That was crazy. Say he could make what?
Pancakes and...
Come on, bro. Don't do Cockling like that. Rest in peace, my boy Cockling. Like,
donuts.
Even so, despite having a massive god complex, Dio's still a careful tactician capable of exploiting an opponent's weaknesses.
Too bad he wasn't prepared for Jotaro to learn how to stop time too and murder the shit out of him. That's some hardcore karma right there.
He made Jotaro mad, bro.
It only makes sense that a dog murderer would die like a bitch.
But much like the machinations of great and terrible men, Dio's will was immortal. In time, his greatest follower succeeded in extinguishing the Joestar bloodline and literally remaking the universe in Dio's image, creating that heaven he always dreamed of.
I guess when you're named after a rock star, a movie star, and, oh, that's right, God, you're pretty much bound for greatness.
You thought your first kiss would be JoJo, but it was I, Dio!
How blessed are some people whose lives have no fears, no dreads. For though the world seems full of good men, there are monsters in it.
But don't worry, jolly old England has it covered with the Hellsing organization.
Founded by famous vampire hunter Abraham Van Helsing and led by his descendant Integra, this secret government institution has saved the world time and again with their secret weapon.
And what better weapon to hunt vampires than with one of their very own, the no-life king, the Bird of Hermes, Alucard.
Yo, Alucard was such a monster. Bro, I don't even think the Hellsing organization had a group full of soldiers, bro. I think they needed to hire mercenaries, but they don't even got like mass. All they need is Alucard. Like, he's literally an army. I'm trying to tell you.
To most, his origin was shrouded in mystery. But under Hellsing's employ, he was molded into an elite.
Age 598. Kill count millions, yeah. 6'3". That's a tall ass nigga, bro.
Hunter, made even more vicious by his intense hatred of his fellow vampire
was a little girl during World War II. Was he? I might have to rewatch
that he expresses with two of the gnarliest handguns you'll ever pray to your infinite God to never see in person.
Alucard's primary sidearm is the Castle, a behemoth of a handgun able to kill most undead in one shot with holy bullets that can nullify a vampire's healing factor.
The Jackal is the handgun she told you not to worry about. 16 inches long and weighing 35 pounds.
Enhanced Alucard's vampiric abilities far beyond the norm.
Alucard can walk through walls, cast illusions, levitate, and move objects with his mind.
Yes.
Objects like, say, an ocean of over 3 million people's blood? That'd be an energy worth half a ton of TNT.
His psychic prowess allows him to read minds, communicate telepathically, hypnotize with a glance, and see through hallucinations with his third eye.
He's not a Triclops. It's more of a sixth sense that lets him hit bullseyes from a kilometer away and even predict your movements. Kinda like the Sharon gun.
Of course, he wouldn't be a real vampire if he couldn't drink blood. The catch is, when he drinks enough blood to kill you, he literally absorbs your soul.
Yeah.
And that right there
he can
is the source of his most fearsome ability.
You just can't kill the sumbitch. Shoot him into Swiss cheese, blow his ass to smithereens, turn him into a literal blood puddle. He'll just regenerate his body lickety-split. Like, we've seen some overpowered healing factors on this show before, but Alucard's is just bullshit.
While he does possess blood and organs like a regular human, Alucard's body is, in reality, composed of an ethereal, shadow-like substance that he can morph any way he wants. This allows him to shapeshift and instantly heal any wound, and each soul Alucard has consumed acts as an extra life that he can spend whenever he's fatally injured. Kind of like a video game.
And after 500 years of unlife, Alucard has consumed literally millions of souls.
I remember. That's when he turned into Dracula.
Yay, more beer.
Just like me.
What up? Hellsing needed a beast as fearsome as Alucard to take on Millennium, aka Nazi vampires. That's like evil squared.
Like when Millennium SS Lieutenant Rip Van Winkle commandeered a British aircraft carrier as part of an invasion of London.
Alucard didn't like that very much, so he jackknifed it with an SR-71 Blackbird at Mach 3.
A fully loaded Blackbird weighs 170,000 pounds, meaning it struck with a kinetic energy of 11 tons of TNT. That's as powerful as the US Massive Ordnance Air Blast.
AKA the mother of all bombs! And Al was in the middle of that and strolled out like it was nothing.
Just as impressive as intercepting Rip's magic bullets. Comparing the distance one bullet moved to the jet in the same time frame as the jet's own movement, each bullet would have to be moving at 1,500 times the speed of sound.
And Alucard caught one with his friggin' teeth. And after giving Rip's name a new meaning, he drove that aircraft carrier back to shore with his mind to fight two separate armies at the same time. What a goddamn monster!
It goes without saying that Alucard's immense power and bloodlust needed to be controlled, so 6 restriction levels were placed on him that he can release against dangerous opponents.
Levels 6 through 2 are for wrecking your ordinary ghouls. Level 1 is for your heavy-duty vampires, and for getting this gnarly demon doggo made from his shadow essence, Baskerville.
But there exists an even greater state of power Alucard can release when he wants to end the world. Level 0.
Once activated, Level 0 releases every single soul Alucard has consumed as a sea of blood-soaked zombies. All 3 million of them.
Bro, this is weird because technically at the end, he loses all of the souls, I think, right? Because the whole thing when he absorbed the kid, that, remember I said that was immortal and not immortal? He kind of lost himself with all the souls, and then he came back years later after he killed all the souls. So does he still have access to this or not? I guess.
Sure, with his souls gone, he can't heal as easily, and if his heart is destroyed, he'll die permanently. But the sheer numbers and power of this army from hell makes him virtually impossible to approach in the first place.
He's unstoppable! This guy's got to be like the king of all vampires!
Indeed, he is. Hellsing purposely kept Alucard's true identity a secret, all in the codename. Alucard backwards is...
Dracula? Yeah, duh, Wiz, idiot.
Over 500 years ago, the Wallachian voivode Vlad Dracula battled the Ottoman Turks for control over Eastern Europe, and impaled thousands of people in the process. Hence his historical name,
Vlad the Impaler.
But things didn't end up too good for him. Right before his execution, he took a big old sip of some blood from the battlefield, sacrificing his humanity in order to become an immortal creature of the night.
And that is when the legend was born. But it wasn't anything Dracula was proud of. He grew to despise his monstrous nature and saw it as cowardice. The main reason he hated other vampires so much was that he really hated himself.
Oh, that's deep, Wiz. Maybe that's why he always lets his enemies rip into him like a piñata of self-loathing. His crazy OP healing factor will fix everything anyways.
Millennium would exploit this arrogance by tricking Alucard into absorbing the soul and abilities of Schrödinger, a German cat boy who controls his own quantum state. This grants him pseudo-omnipresence and immortality. He can exist everywhere and nowhere, and cannot die so long as he can recognize his own existence.
But because Al had 3 million souls kicking around inside him, Schrödinger couldn't recognize himself anymore, forcing him, and thus Alucard, to fade out of existence.
So Alucard spent 30 years killing the other 3 million souls inside of him until he could return to reality and his master. He undid his own unexistence.
No matter how spoopy the threat, Alucard will show no mercy. He's just waiting for the day he meets a noble human warrior strong enough to end his unlife for good.
But should he face a fellow monster, a fool who rejected their humanity like himself, he'll let loose the dogs of war, and all hell will sing.
I'm a dog.
Okay.
You're dog food.
I like that. He said all hell will sing. Damn.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
Okay. If they're going to give him that omnipotent state, they can't give him the people, like the 3 million summons, bro. I'm just trying to give Dio a chance. Because if we give him all his powers, I don't think Dio got a chance. I don't.
But first, if you want the same kind of confidence that lets you try to take over the world with a zombie army, first off, interesting. Secondly, try out Blue Chew.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Chew.
Whoa. I ain't gonna lie, the setting is crazy in this one. Was the mayor in that car?
You interrupted my dinner.
Funny, I was just thinking about having mine.
Then by all means, take a bite.
Hold on, Dio, why you talking like that? Okay. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, Dio winning. So, it don't matter.
Checkmate! How oh so
the world
very
is a
weak,
problem.
Dog. You thought you'd triumph, but it was I! Dio?
I'm a dog. Your dog poop. Huh?
Bro really got the steamroller.
I'm gonna enjoy hearing you scream.
Yo, I'm getting scared. I'm getting spooked. I'm getting spooked. I'm getting spooked. I'm getting spooked. So we're giving him the 3 million people. Okay. Dio, you're done.
What the hell are you?
A real fucking vampire.
This is turning into a slaughter. Dio already done used everything. Okay. I'm not rooting for Dio, but you know what I'm saying? Chill.
You want blood, you disgusting monster? Choke on your own.
I want to rule the world!
Hold on. We gotta run that. We gotta run that back. Hold on. That was an A+ performance. That was an S performance. Hold on. Why he said it like that?
I want to rule the world!
Do I want Dio to win?
Face me, Vampire King! Bow to your new god!
The murder purpose
This is
mine.
pure chaos.
My wheels to make me tame.
Useless. Muda!
Dio won? Wait, no. Dio won? I ain't gonna lie. I'm not sure about this outcome. That junk was crazy. So they obviously didn't give him bro's power. That kid's power. Okay. Wow. Dio had to show. Dio won. Okay. Stop looking at me like that. Come on.
KO! Alucard pulled out all the stops, but like the bloody drink, it was in vain.
Wow. I truly thought Alucard was going to win that.
He may have been the king of the vampires in Hellsing, but Dio had everything he needed to clip the bird of Hermes' wings.
Alucard's strategy in most fights is to heal from an opponent's attacks until they get tired, then take advantage of an opening. But he couldn't do that here because Dio didn't really have any openings, and Alucard wasn't nearly as strong or as fast to compensate.
Alucard could survive crashing that jet and move 1,500 times faster than sound. But scaling from Stone Free and Silver Chariot, the world could punch relativistic meteors and move 1,500 times faster than light. That would make Dio nearly 40,000 times stronger and 800,000 times faster than Alucard.
Hell, Alucard couldn't even see or hurt the world in the first place because he's not a stand user. And since stone mask vampires from JoJo aren't weak to holy weapons like Hellsing vampires are, Al's guns were more or less dead weight.
Plus, Alucard just had...
Wait, what?
Hellsing vampire user. And since stone mask vampires from JoJo aren't weak to holy weapons like Hellsing vampires are...
Huh. I guess. I thought that would be a factor.
And since stone mask vampires from JoJo aren't weak to holy weapons,
I don't know. I feel like they would be weak to holy weapons. JoJo vampires is like I get what they're saying. They're technically not vampires. They're like advanced humans. But isn't that
like Hellsing vampires are? Al's guns were more or less dead weight.
Plus, Alucard just had no way to get past the time stop. Even if he did somehow, Dio could just freeze him on contact.
And considering Dio has taken punches from Star Platinum, Hell would have had trouble doing damage even if he got the chance.
Dio's far greater speed and power meant that, given enough time, he could realistically kill Alucard 3 million times in quick succession. Without any viable options for attack or openings to exploit, Alucard's soul-based regeneration meant he would run out of lives eventually, and level 0 only sped up that process.
Sure, that army's nothing to scoff at, but consider the time Dio's eye beams split those huge-ass clouds.
Estimating the size of the clouds and the speed at which they moved, Dio's beams must have output an energy of over 10 megatons of TNT, enough to wipe out Alucard's army in one go, leaving him vulnerable. Just like when this other vampire, Walter, could have killed him by piercing his heart. Alucard's even admitted it himself.
Hell, Alucard's army is filled with blood. You know, that thing that Dio uses to heal? But Wiz, what about Schrodinger? With his powers, Al can't die unless he chooses to.
That's
While
what I'm saying.
Schrodinger's quantum immortality makes him impossible to kill normally, it is literally part of the story that Alucard cannot have Schrodinger's abilities and his greater array of powers at the same time, or else he'll no longer exist. We can't give him both Schrodinger and his standard powers without breaking the lore and...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I kind of think the stronger version of him is the one with whatever his name power is. Because yeah, he don't got all the vampires, but he can't be killed. I think he just outlasts Dio until the sun comes up.
rules of the character.
Even if we did, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't help him kill Dio at all, so at best it'd be a stalemate. Until Dio hypnotizes Alucard, asks him about his powers, and forces him to eject Schrody like the rest of his souls.
Shocking though it may be, Dio's overwhelming offense, impenetrable defense, and uniquely devastating abilities wore Alucard down until the No-Life King had no lives left.
Alucard got Dio-owned!
Boomstick, you tell the worst puns in the world.
Son.
That's right, and you're just gonna have to Dio with it. And hey, wait a minute, that was a pun. That's my territory. We talked about this.
The winner is Dio.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Wow. Dio won, bro. I'm not mad at it. You feel me? I'm just surprised they ain't use I guess it makes for a better battle if he has all his powers. And it did. I ain't gonna lie. That out of the 3 death battle videos we did in the last couple of days, this one was the best. Like in terms of the battle, it was fire. It was fire. It was heat. Straight heat. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. If y'all did, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe, join the Empire. Let me know in the comments what was y'all favorite part. You feel me? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Dre's Empire out. I'ma see y'all.
Gotta hold my ground. Smile left and I lost and found. I don't cheese, I'ma walk and frown. Hey, you up, can you hold me down? Spin it up, cause I know you round. Left on, what happens now? Been around, look what I got. Back wound and a face on clown. And it's cool. Got a pill for you if you choose to swing that.